Welcome to Freedomfully, where we explore living fully and aging gracefully.
Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to Freedomfully. I'm so happy you're here with me today. I was recently talking with a friend who said something that really struck me. She said, "I used to love reading, but somewhere along the way, I lost the ability to just sit with a book. I find myself skimming, getting distracted, or feeling like I should be doing something more productive." Does that sound familiar? If you found that your relationship with reading has changed, if books that once transported you now feel like a chore, or if you find yourself rushing through pages without really absorbing what you're reading, then today's conversation is for you. Today, we're going to explore how to reclaim the joy of slow reading, not as a productivity hack or a way to get through more books, but as a practice of presence, pleasure, and deep engagement with ideas and stories. Let's start by understanding what we mean by slow reading and why it matters, especially as we age. Slow reading isn't about reading slowly in terms of speed. It's about reading with intention, attention, and presence. It's about allowing yourself to be fully engaged with the text rather than rushing through it to reach some external goal. In our working years, much of our reading was functional. Emails, reports, news articles consumed quickly for information. We developed habits of scanning, skimming, and extracting key points efficiently. These skills served us well professionally, but they can interfere with the kind of reading that nourishes the soul. Slow reading is about returning to the kind of reading you probably did as a child, reading that transports you, that makes you lose track of time, that allows you to live inside the world of the book for a while. One of the beautiful gifts of retirement is that you can read for pure pleasure again, without the pressure of deadlines or the need to extract specific information quickly. You can read a sentence twice because you love the way it sounds. You can pause to think about an idea. You can let your mind wander and make connections. Let's talk about creating the right environment for slow reading. This starts with choosing a comfortable, dedicated space where you can settle in without distractions. This doesn't need to be elaborate. It might be a favorite chair by a window, a corner of your bedroom, or even a spot in your garden. The key is consistency. When you have a designated reading space, your mind begins to associate that space with the calm, focused state that deep reading requires. Consider the lighting carefully. Good lighting reduces eye strain and allows you to read comfortably for longer periods. Natural light is ideal when available, but a good reading lamp can create a warm, inviting atmosphere for evening reading. Now let's address the digital distractions that can interfere with deep reading. If you're reading on a device, consider putting it in airplane mode or using a dedicated e-reader that doesn't have internet access. If you're reading physical books, put your phone in another room or at least out of easy reach. The goal is to create a bubble of focused attention where you can be fully present with the text and your own thoughts and reactions to it. Let's talk about choosing books that support slow reading. While any book can be read slowly and mindfully, some types of books particularly lend themselves to contemplative reading. Poetry is wonderful for slow reading because it's meant to be savored, read multiple times, and contemplated. Classic literature often rewards slow reading because the language is rich and the themes are complex. Memoirs and biographies can be perfect for slow reading because they invite you to reflect on your own life experiences and draw connections between the author's journey and your own. Philosophy, spirituality, and books about personal growth are natural choices for slow reading because they're meant to be pondered and integrated rather than simply consumed. But don't overlook fiction. A beautifully written novel, read slowly, can provide deep pleasure and insight. You can appreciate the author's craft, the development of characters, and the unfolding of themes in ways that rushed reading doesn't allow. Pause 3. Now, let's explore some practices that can enhance your slow reading experience. One is to read with a notebook or journal nearby. When a passage strikes you, when you have a thought or reaction, when you want to remember something, write it down. This isn't about analyzing the text academically. It's about capturing your personal responses and creating a dialogue between yourself and what you're reading. Another practice is to read aloud occasionally, especially poetry or particularly beautiful prose. Hearing the words engages a different part of your brain and can help you appreciate the rhythm and music of language. Don't be afraid to reread passages that move you or confuse you. In slow reading, there's no pressure to always move forward. You can linger with ideas, return to beautiful sentences, or reread entire chapters if they deserve it. Consider reading multiple books simultaneously, but in different genres or for different purposes. You might have a novel for pure pleasure, a memoir for reflection, and a book of poetry for contemplation. This variety can keep your reading fresh and allow you to choose what matches your mood. Let's address the guilt that some retirees feel about spending too much time reading. Reading isn't a waste of time. It's an investment in your mental health, your continued learning, and your quality of life. Reading keeps your mind active and engaged, exposes you to new ideas and perspectives, and provides a healthy form of escapism and relaxation. These are all important for aging well and maintaining cognitive health. If you want to reclaim the joy of slow reading, start by choosing one book that genuinely interests you. Not because you think you should read it, but because you want to. This might be a book you've always meant to read, a genre you used to love, or something completely new that sparks your curiosity. Set aside dedicated reading time each day, even if it's just 20-30 minutes. Consistency matters more than duration. Make this time sacred. No interruptions, no multitasking, just you and your book. Start each reading session by taking a few deep breaths and consciously transitioning from whatever you were doing before to the focused, present state that deep reading requires. Read without goals or timelines. Don't worry about how many pages you read or how quickly you finish the book. Focus on the quality of your engagement rather than the quantity of pages consumed. Keep a reading journal where you can record favorite passages, personal reflections, or connections you make. This practice deepens your engagement and creates a record of your reading journey. Beautiful souls, slow reading is a gift you can give yourself, a return to one of life's simple but profound pleasures. In a world that often demands speed and efficiency, choosing to read slowly and mindfully is an act of self-care and rebellion. Books have been waiting patiently for you to have the time and freedom to truly enjoy them. Retirement gives you that gift. Don't rush through it. Savor it, explore it, and let it nourish your mind and soul. Remember, every book you read slowly and mindfully is a journey, an adventure, and a conversation with some of humanity's greatest minds and storytellers. What a beautiful way to spend your precious time. Thank you for valuing the life of the mind and the pleasure of deep engagement with ideas and stories. If slow reading calls to you, I encourage you to choose a book this week and give yourself permission to read it at whatever pace brings you joy. Until next time, keep feeding your soul and reading with Freedomfully.